Ugh, another one. Utterly obnoxious. Oh, you're up. Finally. But I won't complain. You're here just in time to entertain me. These letters are so dull. Did I tell anyone? About what? The letters? They're not all that important. I don't know what you mean. Nothing much of anything happened yesterday. And even if it did, why would it be anyone else's business? Just testing my memory. I may be older than you, but I'm not senile yet. And besides, there are potions to stave that off. Oh, I'm devastated. I'm so glad you're here, Jester. How about you read some of these letters to me? Put on a silly voice. Make it fun. I know. I should be doing my own work. Just having you here is enough. But I do wonder, is it really necessary to carry your bow with you everywhere? No one's going to steal it if you just leave it in your room. In case of an emergency. In an emergency, you should be running and hiding. You won't be able to attack intruders either. You do know that, right? Of course, I'll accept the blame for that. It's a shame. You'd be so helpful if anything happened. I don't think you need to worry. The castle is quite secure, despite all the creaks you hear at night. That's to be expected in an old place like this. Is the castle haunted? Not presently. Yes, I'm quite sure. You know, people will often claim to see ghosts in any place that's old or abandoned. But the truth is, they're actually quite rare. It takes a very strong willpower to remain after your body has given up life. And ghosts don't tend to just make strange noises and hover about aimlessly. They have purpose, and they're quite loud about it. Yes, I've seen one. It was my mentor. Although saying that might give you the wrong idea. See, that's exactly what I mean. I didn't kill him. He was already dead when we met. Exactly. He was a ghost haunting this very castle. You weren't assuming I built this place myself, were you? Although considering the shape it was in when I found it, I may as well say I did. I don't know if I should tell you. After all, you could be probing for information, plotting my downfall. I'm just kidding. I don't think I have anything to lose by telling you. It's just something my mentor always went on about. Those who caused his downfall. Heroes. You know. Oh, skies no, I didn't seek him out. I hadn't the faintest clue about magic back then. And if I'd known what I was walking into, I would have turned right back around. But how could I have known? In those days, the tree line came right up into the castle grounds. It was so overgrown. I was just walking through the woods, and suddenly I was climbing over the shattered wall. To make a very long story short, I was greeted, well, more like yelled at by my mentor, and eventually I began studying under him. And then the castle was mine, I built up my army, blah blah blah. That's all. Oh, come now, do you really need to know every little detail? Oh, fine. Anything to get away from reading these letters. My mentor had been a very powerful sorcerer, and he owned this very castle. Unfortunately, some foreign nobles got wind of the experiments he was doing with dark magic, and of course they were displeased. And then Hero showed up, he was killed, you get the idea. But that wasn't the end for him. Yes, he did become a ghost, but he also had another trick up his sleeve. He cursed the castle upon his death, so no one could leave it once they entered, and that included those sent to kill him. I know, he was pretty harsh, but after that, no one dared go near, lest they be trapped too. So he haunted the halls, waiting. He spent his whole life researching dark magic, and he refused to let all of his knowledge go to waste. So he remained, awaiting someone who he could teach this knowledge. And that was me, a young girl who cluelessly wandered in. No, of course I'm not still trapped here. I'm far too powerful for that. But that was his incentive for me. Learn everything he knew about dark magic, and I would learn how to break the curse on the castle and gain my freedom. How long did it take? I'm not sure. I gave up counting the days after the first few months, but it must have been years. When I finally broke the curse, I was considerably taller. Yes, then his spirit was finally able to move on. And good riddance, too. I was more than tired of hearing his voice every day. But I can't deny, he was a true master of magic, and I wouldn't be who I am today without him. Yes, I did stay here even though I'd earned my freedom. I'd spent so much time fixing it up to make it livable over the years that it seemed like a waste to leave. It's still a castle after all. Where else would I get one for free? Return home? There was no home for me to return to. Certainly no one who would be missing me. The joys of an untethered life. The rest I'm sure you don't need to hear. My fortune and underlings all came over time. Not without significant effort, mind you, but I won't bore you or myself with all the politics. Do I think my mentor would be proud of me? That man would only ever be proud of his own accomplishments. But even so, I'm sure he's turning in his grave seeing as how I use dark magic so rarely. Especially after he taught me how to perform necromancy on his own corpse. Oh yes, he really did. It was the only corpse in the castle intact enough to use, but it was in bad shape. Yet the contrast between it and his spirit was interesting to see. Did I hate being trapped here? I'm sure you can answer that yourself. Oh, is that how you want to convince me to remove your collar? A bit of empathy? But I won't say you're the only one who wants that. The archers, I mean. What with how they'd like to battle with you and all. I'm sure they just want to see what you're like in the field. Among others in this castle. I mean, you can imagine you're well liked enough here. Me? What kind of question is that? Without the collar, you'd be out of here before any of my guards could stop you. And that would be dreadful. If you stayed here of your own free will, don't be ridiculous. I'd never believe that. I wish I could. I wish I want to... Skies, Estmond, you startled me. What's wrong? What? Are you serious? The guard caught those heroes trying to sneak in? Where are they now? The dungeons. Yes, finally. And we didn't even have to go get them. Yes, I'm going to the dungeons right away. This is perfect. Right. Jester. I don't think you should come with me. Conflict of interest and all. I didn't say that. I'm sure there'll be plenty of time for a reunion before I slaughter them. Why do you care? As far as they know, they left you for dead. I can understand wanting closure, but don't tell me you intend to forgive them. Enough. I'm going to the dungeons. You stay here. You know, I could pretend to be really cool, like, oh, I heard you guys wanted more evil sorceress, so I decided to write more of it right away, but, truth is I already had it written, I just had a lot of commissions to do first.